Hello and welcome to this app tour for the Bridge, Ohio. We make these app tour videos to help churches to be able to understand everything that's possible with their church app because there's so many different things you can do and it can be hard to get the messaging across. So already what you've seen I've done here is I've opened the quick action menu. You can do this by pressing hard on an app icon on iOS. On Android you can hold your finger down on the app icon and it will open a similar menu. It's called an app shortcut. And like I said, on Android you just hold your finger. On iOS you press hard to make it happen. But instead of using any of these options, which allow you to jump directly into those sections of the app, what I'm going to do is just press the app icon to open the app. And you can see it'll take us right into the Connect section of the app where it shows the bridge, contact info, and below that you also have a number of ways to connect with the bridge. And that's obviously the point of the Connect section, but you can connect with the bridge through social media. You can see you have your Facebook, Instagram, website. You can also contact the bridge to submit a prayer request, to send an email, or even call the bridge using the app. And you can get directions to the church as well, which will open up a map and get directions from your location to the bridge. But you can see the top option there is notifications, and this is really neat and something that you'll probably want to set up the first time you use the app. Now, the first time you use the app, it's going to have a pop-up come up and say, hey, would you like to receive notifications from the bridge? You probably want to do that so that the bridge can send out information to you. But also, if you want to have targeted notifications, like notifications about specific things, you can click the notification button here, and it will take you into this notification menu, which when you open it for the first time will look like this if you allowed notifications. So you can see right now we have the top option, which says allow notifications, is set to on. That means if the bridge sends out a notification to the whole church in general, you will get it. But if the bridge wants to send out a notification about a specific thing, like they send out a notification to people who are interested in the kids ministry or the students ministry or the groups ministry, you will only get those notifications if you toggle something like that on. So let's say I have a student in high school and I'm also part of a small group. I'll turn both of those on, and now if the bridge sends out a notification specifically to target those people, only those people will get it. And this allows the bridge to be able to send out more notifications but target the people those notifications go out to. So you won't have someone that doesn't have any kids getting all these notifications about kids every week. Only the people with kids will get the kids notifications. All right, so with that, we now have covered the Connect section. Let's go all the way over to the far left tab at the bottom to the Notes section. The Notes section gives you live sermon notes from the bridge. And the really neat thing about this isn't just that you have these really nice looking sermon notes, but also that you can take your own notes on these notes. If you look at the very top, you have that reddish bar that says touch any section to take a note. So as we're going through here, let's say that we have something is said about Exodus 5:3-12 that really means something to me. What I can do is I can touch that section. It will bring up the ability to take a note, and I can say, this passage meant a lot to me. And normally I would say because and then have a note explaining like what I got out of it. But right now I'm not going to make you watch me type that. I would press add, and then you can see there's a little symbol there along the left hand side that indicates a note has been taken on this section. So assuming that the notes are really long, like I could even take something on the title. Obviously, I would not actually take a note that says the title, but if the notes are really long, I could scroll through really fast. It's very easy to see where I have taken a note, and then I can just tap back in there, and I can see that note that I've taken. So this gives you the ability to be able to take notes on any part of the sermon, and then once the message is done, you can select the email sermon button, and those notes that you have taken, they're written in line. So remember, I took a note on the title, Slow to Anger. There it is. This is the title. My personal note is very well marked out where I took it. I took a note on that passage in Exodus. There it is. This passage meant a lot to me because ... Obviously the ... I wrote, but you can write whatever you want, as much as you want, and this gives you unlimited space. And now you can email those notes to yourself. And we hear stories all the time of people that set up like in Gmail or whatever email client they have, they set up a folder so that when emails come through that say their church name, like for instance in this case it would be the Bridge Sermon, it will stick it into that folder, and then they just have this ever expanding folder of all of their notes. They never have to worry about losing their paper notes or having limited space where they can take notes. They can take as many notes as they want, send that email when the sermon's over, and then they have their notes documented for going back and looking looking at whenever they want, which is a great tool. Also, along with having the ability to have the scripture passages and just notes, you can see that these notes can also include inline images and even links. For instance, this Give Online button, which gives you the ability to link out to, let's say there's a video associated with the message or some sort of sign up that needs to be mentioned at any point. It gives you the ability to be able to access anything, so the notes are very dynamic where you're taking your own notes and also being able to link out to things and have pictures. So next up, let's talk about media, the second tab on the bottom. If I go into here, you can see all of the Bridge sermons divided by sermon series. So let's go into Love Came Down. I know there's a lot of messages in that series. You can see I can select that, and then here are all of the messages from Love Came Down, and you can see that it's from the newest message going down to the oldest message in that series. So I can select any message here. Let's go back and go into Exodus. So this list of series is always from the series with the newest message in it down, and then when you go into a series, you have the newest message in that series going older and older. So let's go to Slow to Anger. So I selected Slow to Anger, and now you can see I have the ability to listen to the audio. You have a down button, which gives me the ability to download the audio, and you have a notes button. Let's select the download button, and the significance here is I could just start streaming this audio, or I could listen to it. I could start streaming the audio, or I could download it. So that means I could be on Wi-Fi at home or somewhere else. I could download the message, then I can hit the road, and if I start listening to any message that's been downloaded, it will automatically play the downloaded audio instead of streaming it. So you can see now it pops up saying, hey, you can now listen to this message offline. So that means that I will no longer stream it if I leave the house if the message is downloaded. And then all I have to do is select the Listen to Audio button. It will take me in here, and it's going to immediately start playing that downloaded version of the message. And I can use the little scrub bar below the time, and I can fast forward to any point I want. Now that the message is downloaded, it will start playing really fast, whereas if you're streaming, it'll take a second for it to scrub up to the point where you want to be at. Also, now that the audio is playing, what if I want to navigate away from the audio? So let's go back to the Connect section. Right now I'm listening to the sermon audio, and I want to go to, say, for whatever reason, I want to go look at the notifications while I'm listening. I can select Connect, and you can see at the bottom of the screen you still have that little audio bar showing the simulated audio. Well, at any place inside of the app, I can touch that bar and it will take me right back to the audio that's playing. And this is a problem with a lot of apps, is that once you navigate away from something that's playing, how do you get back to it? Well, it makes it so that you have this really easy way where you can go anywhere in the app, and you have that area down there showing that, hey, audio is going, and you can touch it and it'll take you right back to the playing audio. So for now, let's pause that so we don't have that bar following us around. Also, you can see in the top right corner, we have the ability to share this message. So let's say the Slow to Anger message meant a lot to me, and I think, hey man, this is going to mean a lot for Jessica. What I can do is I can select that button, and it will open the ability for me to be able to text Jessica the message. I can email Jessica the message, or let's say this message just meant a lot to me in general, I want to share it with everyone. I could also share the message on Twitter or Facebook from within the app. And if I press, for instance, Facebook, it will pull up a form where I can easily just share it right there. You can see the link is built in going to that audio, and I can type something out, so saying like, hey, I love this message from the Bridge, you've got to listen to it. All from within the Bridge app. So next up, oh, and one last thing on this, you can see there's a notes button. If there are sermon notes available for a message, so remember, here are the sermon notes for Slow to Anger. Well, they're also attached to this audio, so later on, once Slow to Anger is gone, I can go back here from within the media section, and I can actually access those notes and read them. Now, I no longer have the ability to take notes on this sermon, but I do have the ability to go back and read them. So I could technically start playing the audio like I showed you, and then I can go back into notes, and while I'm listening to the audio, I can be reading the notes along with the audio that's playing, which is a pretty cool tool and a pretty cool way to experience a sermon even if you're not able to be at the Bridge on Sunday morning because you're traveling or something. Next up, let's go into the calendar section. Now, the calendar section at first glance can seem pretty basic, but this is such a powerful tool and one of the most used tools we see in the apps that we make. So you can see right here you have all of the events going on at the Bridge, and something to take note of is these events are not in your personal calendar. So this is the Bridge calendar, but there's going to be events in this calendar that are relevant to you and to your family. And what you can do is you can use this Add to Calendar button that's here for every single event, and you click that, and the first time you touch that button for any event, it's going to ask you to give the Bridge or give your phone access to be able to add the Bridge events to your calendar. And this is just to protect you, to make sure that some app isn't just randomly adding stuff to your calendar. So once you give it permission and press OK, you'll see it'll pop up and say event added. So what that means is that that October 12th event has now been added to my iCalendar, because I'm on an iPhone right now. But on Android, it will do the same type of thing, and it will add that event to your Google Calendar. And then if you have your Google Calendar synced like my family does, or your iCalendar synced, all of that event will go into everyone's calendar. So that means that after doing this, in a matter of probably less than 30 seconds, you can just scroll through all of the events going on at the Bridge that are relevant to you and just click add to calendar, add to calendar, add to calendar, add to calendar, and you've just gotten everything in there. And the difference is you could maybe go find the calendar, the Bridge's calendar, and sync it to yours, but there's a good chance you're going to get a lot of events now that are in your personal calendar that aren't relevant to you. Whereas in this way, you can personalize the events that are coming in from the Bridge into your personal calendar. The other button you see there is the information button. Now, in some cases, there will not be additional information. For instance, I'll click the information button here for the top item, and you'll see it says there are no additional details for this event. And that just means that the Bridge did not add any extra details. But let's scroll down here to, for instance, well, I don't know. Maybe there won't be additional details. But if there are additional details available for an event, then you could have an RSVP button appear. Even on this screen, there could be a register button. There could also be the possibility to email the Bridge from within an event, or there can even be the possibility to visit a website for RSVPing from an event. So this really gives you power. And you can see here it says community event for Fall Festival. That was actually a detail that was written in by the Bridge. But if they had had an email or contact information associated with it, when you pressed information, you would have been able to access that information. So last up is the Giving tab here on the bottom right, and this just gives you access to the different ways that you can give at the Bridge. So you could give by you could mail in an envelope, or in the top you could see digital giving. It says touch here or visit our website. So if I touch that, it'll actually take me out to the page where I can give digitally to the Bridge. So hopefully this video has given you a great idea of all of the different things that you can do with the Bridge app to be able to connect with the Bridge anywhere you are. If you want additional details about what you can do with the FaithLink app, visit faithlinkapps.com or visit our Facebook page at FaithLink Church Tools. Have a great day.